Zara stood 8 feet tall with deep purple skin that shimmered under the station lights. Her forearms moved nervously as she watched the humans work in the engineering bay. She had been assigned to this mixed-species research facility 3 months. Ego and every day reminded her why her people called themselves the outcasts. The Vorthak were giants among the galactic community, standing nearly twice the height of most species. With their extra limbs and dense bone structure, they were often seen as laborers or guards, never as equals, never as potential partners. She watched Jake Martinez adjust a power coupling near her workstation. His sandy hair caught the light as he concentrated on his task. Zara had worked beside him for weeks now, and found herself drawn to his quiet competence and gentle humor. But she knew it was hopeless. Her people had tried for centuries to find compatible mates among the stars. Their size and physiology made it nearly impossible. The few attempts had ended in tragedy or heartbreak. The Vorthak had resigned themselves to slow extinction, believing they were too different, too big, too alien for anyone to truly love them. Jake looked up and caught her staring. He smiled that easy smile that made her hearts race. Yes, hearts plural. Another reminder of how different she was. "Hey Zara, you okay over there?" he asked, wiping grease from his hands. She nodded quickly, turning back to her console. "Fine, human. Just checking the quantum resonance levels." He laughed softly. "You know you can call me Jake, right? We've been working together long enough." Zara felt heat rise in her cheeks, a deeper purple flush spreading across her features. She had been calling him human, as a defensive barrier. It kept things professional distant. But Jake had never made her feel like an outsider. He treated her like an equal, like a friend. Maybe even like something more. "Sorry, Jake, old habits," she replied. He walked over to her station, standing barely chest-high to her. Massive frame. "Mind if I ask you something?" Her stomach twisted with anxiety. "What is it? Why do you always seem so sad?" "Sometimes I catch you looking at the other couples on the station and you get this expression like you're watching something you can never have." Zara's breath caught in her throat. How could she explain that she had fallen for him, that she dreamed of impossibilities, that her people were dying out because they were too alien for love? "My species faces extinction," she said, quietly. "We are too large, too different. No one wants to bond with a Vorthak. We accepted long ago that we would fade away alone." Jake frowned, studying her face with those warm brown eyes. "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." Zara blinked, in surprise. "Excuse me," I said, "that's stupid. Who told you that size doesn't matter when it comes to caring about someone, and different?" He shook his head. "Different is what makes life interesting. Jake, you don't understand. I'm nearly 8 feet tall. I have 4 arms. My bone density could accidentally hurt you. I'm not breeding material for anyone, especially not humans." Jake stepped closer, placing his small hand on her massive forearm. The touch sent electricity through her entire body. "Can I tell you what I see when I look at you?" She nodded, unable to speak. "I see someone brilliant who solves engineering problems that stump the rest of us. I see someone kind who always makes sure the newer crew members feel welcome. I see someone beautiful with eyes like violet stars and skin that looks like it was painted by an artist. I see someone I've been falling for since the day we met." Zara's 4 hearts hammered against her ribs. "Jake, that's impossible. We could never." "Why? Because some book somewhere says we're not compatible. Because other people think it's weird." He moved even closer now, standing between her legs as she sat on her work stool. "I don't care what anyone else thinks. Do you have feelings for me, Zara?" The question hung in the air between them, loaded with possibility and terror. Zara had spent her entire life believing she was unlovable. Too big, too alien, too much. But Jake was looking at her like she was precious, like she was everything he had ever wanted. "Yes," she whispered. "But Jake, the biological incompatibilities alone. Let me worry about that," he said, reaching up to cup her face with both his hands. "Humans are pretty adaptable and stubborn. When we want something, we figure out how to make it work." That night, Zara lay in her oversized quarters staring at the ceiling. Jake had kissed her. Actually kissed her. his lips soft and warm against hers, his arms reaching up to pull her down to him. It had been gentle and perfect and completely impossible. Over. The following weeks they met in secret stolen moments in empty corridors, quiet conversations in the observation deck. Zara had never been happier or more terrified. She kept waiting for Jake to realize what everyone else already knew that she was. Too much for any normal relationship, but Jake never wavered. He brought her flowers from the hydroponics bay, flowers so small in her massive hands but precious beyond measure. He wrote her messages in his neat handwriting, telling her about his day, asking about hers. He held her when she cried about her people's slow extinction and promised her that she would never be alone. 3 months into their impossible romance, Dr. Lisa Wong called Zara to the medical bay for routine testing. Zara went. Without concern, she had been getting regular checkups since joining the station, but Lisa's expression was strange when she returned with the results. "Zara, I need you to sit down," Lisa said. Her voice careful, fear shot through Zara. "What is it, Em?" "I sick?" "No, you're not sick." Lisa took a deep breath. "You're pregnant." The world tilted around Zara. "That's impossible. I ran the tests 3 times. The genetic markers are clear. You're carrying a hybrid child, human and Vorthak." Lisa sat down across from her. "Zara, this shouldn't be possible. The genetic compatibility between your species and humans was deemed 0. Zara's mind reeled. "But how?" "I think love found a way," Lisa said softly. "Your body chemistry has been changing since you've been with Jake. Your hormone levels, your cellular structure. It's like your biology adapted to make this possible." When Zara found Jake in the engineering bay that evening, she could barely form words. He took one look at her face and led her to a private alcove. "What's wrong?" he asked, cupping her face in his hands. "Jake, I'm pregnant." His eyes went wide. "That's incredible. That's amazing." He paused. "Unless you don't want to be." "I want to be so much it terrifies me," she said. "But Jake, this changes everything. Everyone will know about us. Everyone will see that we broke every rule of genetic compatibility." Jake grinned, pulling her down for a kiss. "Good. Let them see. Let them see that love doesn't care about rules or expectations or what's supposed to be possible." 9 months later, Zara held their daughter in her arms. The baby was perfect, smaller than a Vorthak, but larger than a human, with Jake's brown eyes and Zara's purple-tinted skin. She had 2 arms like her father, but the strength of her mother. Jake sat beside them on the specially reinforced bed, his arm around Zara's shoulders as he gazed at their miracle child. "What should we call her?" he asked. "Hope," Zara said without hesitation. "We'll call her Hope." The birth made news across the galaxy. The first successful human-Vorthak hybrid. A living proof that love could overcome any biological barrier. Representatives from dozens of species came to study them to understand how the impossible had become possible. But Jake and Zara didn't care about the science. They only cared about their growing family, about the other Vorthak women who started arriving at the station, seeking their own human partners, about the future they were building together. Zara had spent her life believing she was too big, too alien, too different for love. But Jake had seen past all of that to the woman beneath. He had loved her not despite her differences, but because of them. And somehow that love had rewritten the very laws of biology. Their daughter, Hope, grew up surrounded by love and possibility. She would never know a world where different species couldn't find happiness together. She would never feel too big or too alien, because her parents had proven that love makes all things possible. Zara watched Jake teach their toddler daughter to walk across their quarters. She marveled at the turn her life had taken. She had gone from believing herself unlovable to becoming the mother of a new generation of possibilities. Love had found a way, just as it always does when 2 hearts refuse to accept the word impossible. The Vorthak were no longer facing extinction. They were facing evolution. And it all started with one human who looked at an 8-foot-tall purple woman with 4 arms and saw not an alien but the love of his life.